So they'll be calling you a radical, and this is why this is a nightmare, and this is so, I'm telling you, has nothing to do with opinion about me. Opinion ain't Kevin Blanch, the biologist, the scientist, the activist who does the work. Chinook salmon go to sea. They live in the Pacific Ocean on an average of 5 years, then go up to 8. Steelhead salmon life cycle is much shorter. Steelhead salmon 1 to 2 years. They live in the Pacific Ocean. This is the biggest drainage. It's the Columbia drainage. It's massive. We'll get into this. Okay. Start out with a graph. This is Chinook on the Bonneville. Okay, here's our 10-year mean tracking. Look at that. I mean, this is a catastrophe. Last year was a catastrophe. This year's even a bigger catastrophe. It's a nightmare. It should be emergency closed. I don't know why it's not emergency closed. This is criminal as hell. Okay, let's go to annual totals. That's why this is such a big deal. Alright, this is the Bonneville, adult Chinook returning 2015. Now these are the salmon that went to sea in 2010. 1,337,000. Okay? 2016, ODFW, WFW, NOAA, every agency out there. All the freaking University of Washington, Oregon State University, their projection here, which is good modeling. By the way, my projection was the same as their projections. My model was 1.7 million. I set my projection at 680,000. They come in at 697,000. That's when they started this. We're mystified, we're baffled, we're puzzled, we're perplexed, and started going crazy. Oh, it's just a freaky year. Blob, acidification, warm water, your kitchen sink. So, okay, 2017. They set their projections at 2.1 million. Between 2.1 million and 2.3 million. That's ODFW. Now, who's ODFW? Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife. Army Corps of Engineers. WDF, Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife. NOAA. University of Washington. We'll go to their sites. They said their projection between 2.1 million and 2.3 million. I said my projection of 480,000. Well, then they really started freaking out. Then they started using hyperbole like perplexed, the trend on our friend, disturbing. What? Has nothing to do with dams. Nothing. I'll show you why. I can prove it. This has nothing to do with opinion. I hypothesized a long time ago. The hypothesis is over. I did the field work for 8 years. Now, I defended my work. This is pure knowledge now. This is smoking gun. The Fukushima is killing the Pacific Ocean. 2018. The projections were set at 2.7 million based on escapement. ODFW, WFW, NOAA, Army Corps of Engineers. I set mine at 333,000. They come in at 30. What? How is it possible Kevin Blanch can get these deadly on the number? Oh, I got them. I mean, doesn't matter how I did it. I did it. Okay? This is why this is getting really freaky scary now. Okay. Let's go here. The Willamette. That feeds into the Columbia below the Bonneville Dam. Below the This is important. Below the Bonneville. The tributaries that feed into the Willamette, no dams. 0.0 dams. What did the fish say when he was swimming home? Damn. What does the fish say now? Fukushima killed me. Okay, let's stay with me. This is why this is getting creepy, and then we'll get into the wells. still head. Okay, now look at this. 10 year. Ocean conditions. Nightmare. Now, why is this so concerning? Let's go here. Because they're out in front of the Bonneville. They will tell you the tale in front. They're in the front. So look at this nightmare. There's your 10-year mean on the stillhead. July 666 last year. Eek. Look at that nightmare. Well, get ready for this year's nightmare because we're going extinction stuff now. Now it's early, right? But how can I tell? This is how I can tell. I've been at this for a long time. This is how I can tell. They're in front. You can see it. You can see it. It's a catastrophe. It's a catastrophe. I mean, we're talking extinction. Now, state of Washington, I mean, Oregon, the big one. And it's much worse. Now, why we use this one? Because the road we can't track because we don't have 100%, but we've got boots on the ground. There ain't nothing. We know in the hatchery. We can get to those hatchery up there. They're off 98% of the 10-year mean. The Deschutes, off 98% of the 10-year mean. It's a catastrophe. It's extinction stuff. Why is it not emergency closed? Where's the... Which a lot of it is closed, but they're still here and there's about, you know... It's a night, I'm telling you. You know, Tim and I have been working this. So let's go here to the other side. Where we gotta go? Am I here? Yeah. Okay, this is the University of Washington site. Okay, I'm already here, which is the Columbia River Dart number. Okay, this is to date. 58,000. Last year's nightmare number. 93. We're running at 62% of it last year's, which should have been emergency all closed by law. The Trump administration and the administration. Where's Sierra Club? Where's Greenpeace? Where's Friends of the... You got me. Now let me caveat. I got to back up because I just made a mistake and I just thought about it. Now the Willamette, sorry about that. The Willamette Dam Falls is the early dam. So there's dams. I got that confused with Tillamook Bay. Sorry, my bad. Let me caveat that. But Tillamook Bay, I'll get into that. Tillamook Bay, there's absolutely no dams. Zero dams. That's why we have no counts. But they had a fishing derby there last weekend for Chinook and Steelhead. 200 boats, and I have proof of this. You go to iFish, 4 days, 200, we're talking 800 fishermen, 4 people per boat, for 4 days. They caught 0 fish. So anyway, here we go. So, I have a lot in my head, if you haven't known. I don't know how I do it. 58,000 for the year. That's 62% of last year's nightmare number. The 4-year mean's 140,000, which the 4-year means got slammed because of these bad numbers. Here's the 10-year mean, 158,000. Now remember, we've incorporated these catastrophe numbers 4 years now into that 10-year mean. 158. So we're on at 36% of the bad 10-year mean. So let me show you what this looks like. This is 10-year, 4-year, and this year graph. You think that's a nightmare? So here's what's so scary about it. Let me get to this quickly here. So it's not just grays. I mean, I stood in PB up on the thing in January. Plenty of witnesses, you know, did videos. This is the next shoe to drop on this will be the gray whale starving to death. You know, I remember several people walking. I said, "What are you doing today?" You're standing there watching. I'm out there. You tide pulling today? Yeah, later, but I'm watching for dead gray whales. It's too early. No, it's not. I'm like, they're going to start washing, gray whales are going to start starving to death this year. So this is a humpback. This is yesterday. Sick in San Francisco Bay. He's dying, he's starving to death. Now stay with me. When you get orcas, now the orcas have showed up in Humboldt County. Orcas have showed up in Humboldt. What? Out of the southern pod. 35 of the southern pod. There's only 72 left the southern pod because they eat. Orcas feed on Chinook salmon. Other whales, all whales, are plankton feeders. They're filter feeders. They eat the same thing that anchovies and sardines. You know, what eats an anchovy and sardine? That's Chinook salmon. So, let's get rid of this advertising. Can't stand it. So, my count is well over 200 grays. My army is keeping me posted. So, here, now stay with me. Again, now I'll go real slow. Let's go back here. Let's get this right, Kevin. So this is a catastrophe. These numbers are a nightmare. So what should they have right now? On a normal year, what should they have? And this has not been going on for years, as you can see. Let's go back here. This has not been going on for years. You can do this on your own. You know, this is a free website. That's returns to 2015. Record. Well, since they've been keeping track, which is nearly 100 years. Record. So let's do the math. 1.3 million. 600. We'll give it 700,000. Nearly cut in half. 408,000. 333,000. So I set my projection at 180. You know, I set my projection earlier this year. I'll be right on the nuts. I'm telling you, it's going to come in about 180. So we're going to 337 to 180. Can you do math? Whoa. From 1,337,000 to 180,000. 9% decrease? Oh yeah. Again, now stay with. This is why this is getting very scary. Okay. Let's go back here to table. Let's get over here to this all Chinook, yeah. 54,657. That's the final spring number, by the way. That's the final spring number. Their lower projection was 100,000. Their early projection when I set mine earlier was 160,000. This is by number. This is not by weight. We know for a fact, because Tim's up there, these people, boots on the ground, these things are coming up. I mean, they're so scrawny and sucked up and freaking sick. We've got video with the native chief on the Klamath. He says, point out, they got tumors in them. They're sick. See what? Okay. Let's go back here too. Let's go back to graph. This is why this is so disturbing. Okay, let's stay here at the Bonneville. Still have salmon. Now they spawn in Idaho. So do I, by the way. I was established in Idaho in 1959. Okay. Conceived on the beach at San Onofre. That's for real. My Pendleton dead, nuked to death father. Okay, so it's early here on this Stillhead run. Really early. Okay, but it's getting ready to go. We'll keep track. So, and let me correct the mistake that I made, because I'm human. Okay. Now I said no dams. I meant Tillamook Bay. By the way, Tillamook Bay, I'm the guy that got emergency closed last year. Tillamook. You can call ODFW and ask them. You know, I mean, there's some people in their Portland office that actually like me. They didn't like me before. You know, and the Army Corps of Engineers just told me there's an email. I should have had it. I'll put it up in the next video, dude. That he said to me, right? And he says, "Kevin, you got classified." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" It says right across. He says all the stuff that comes across from us, it either says Kevin Blanch classified or unclassified, and everything's classified. I found one email that they said they could send you unclassified. How's that even possible? So here's what's so concerning. They run much early on the Willamette because the Willamette's below, right? The Willamette's drainage is it drains into the Columbia below the Bonneville, which they used to call the Chief Joe's, if you think about that. Below. So, that's the number. That's what they're coming in right now. I mean, it's a nightmare. I mean, you're talking... It's a catastrophe, so what does this tell me? Because, you know, this is just a small sample of what the Bonneville will run 10 times that. But this will tell me. I can tell you right now, this is the precursor. So... Now, how have I been so deadly? Well, it's real easy, kids. It's not that hard for me, the science. I mean, I'm a stats guy. I'm an old finance professor. Here's how. This is not that complicated, you know, for the light, you know, intuitive mind. When I saw the dead tide pools going, well, when I saw Fukushima happen, I mean, hello, it blew up. They're pouring into the Pacific Ocean. Come on, it's going to break the chain. You know, it's ecology, stupid. There's an eco chain. So, stay with me. So, let's go back here. We can get the Stillhead annuals. Sure we can. Okay. It only loads so many at a time. Stillhead. Let's go see if we can get back further on the Stillhead. That's only because they go to sea for 1 or 2 years. Let's try this. Sorry, I mean, like I said, I'm only one person. Bonneville. Start them out at. Let's go to 2011. Let's go to. Stillhead. 2011. 369,000. They only go to sea for 1 year. 1 to 2 years is their life cycle. Immediately, they started to decline. 235,000, 234,000. They had a little bump here at 325,000 in 2014. 268,000, 188,000, 117,000, 102,000. You know, so this decline. You know what this is going to be this year? Whoa. You're probably talking in the 40,000 range, if that. That's a catastrophe. That's extinction stuff. And this is not just unclipped. I mean, you want to get unclipped, which is the wild. 33,000. We're going to be lucky if we get 10,000. So, what does this tell me? Here's what it tells me. This is important. It tells me what's going to happen to the Chinook. because their life cycle's here. So what's the Chinook going to be in another 2-3 years? Maybe extinct. That's why we have the Endangered Species Act. It fell under that 1,300 days ago. Obama ignored it. Trump's ignored it. Greenpeace has ignored it. Sierra Club, the activist community, all this, well, you got me. You got me. Because everybody's in Fukushima denial. They're in Fukushima denial. It's that simple. Wells collapsed, tide pools, you wouldn't believe me. I'd walk the whole coast while I'm full of leukemia. I've done all this work full of leukemia. And for me to say this is important. Stay with me on this. This is really important. What kind of risk I took as hypothesizing? You know what it was? I sounded insane because everybody was in Fukushima denial. We can do the same thing on the Alaska rivers. Now, it's already up there. Now, coho salmon, that's a different thing. Coho still had, this. We can do the same thing on the Fraser. We can do the same thing on the Kenai. The Kenai started right now, and the king salmon run, and it's pathetic right now, but it's early. We'll see. Now, you start comparing some, sockeye, please. It's comparable coddy to it. For me to come out and say, no, everybody's arguing, yeah, you're crazy, we suffer. I said, no, you're going to see in 2016, when everybody in the freaking world saying it's going to be 1.7 million, and I'm saying 6, they think, I stuck my neck so far out. But I've been right. I've been right on all this from day one. This is the greatest Ph.D., the greatest professor, maybe since Semmelweis, maybe ever. Who wouldn't have believed it? My history background, my art background, my finance background. I'm well versed. I've done a lot of things. Who would have believed? Then I ended up being the scientist. It pushed a new energy into the Pacific Ocean, which I named plutonium, and that's not far-fetched. It's not. Now everybody's saying in the scientific community, a lot of people are buzzed talking to Kevin Blanch. They're like, well, Kevin Blanch was saying this is the new energy, and now even Lake Barrett and everybody's agreeing with me, saying, well, I think he's right. It is a new energy. The tests that are coming out, we can't recognize what it is because it's never happened before, which I named plutonium. Where's my Nobel Prize? They gave 4 of them to Livermore for colliding waste together and created a new energy and filled the bottom of the periodic table. They gave them, I think, $1 million apiece on this. So when am I going to get mine? Plutonium. Because the scientific community is talking right now, and they're talking, yep, this is a new energy we haven't tested before, which, by the way, rolls off the ocean. Why do you think all those fires started simultaneously? The atmosphere was catching on fire because it's a new energy. It's catching fire. The atmosphere caught fire. Pine trees soak up radiation, right? Too much, they die. Not enough, they die. That's what killed them. Not to mention the atmosphere caught. That's been proven that the atmosphere caught fire simultaneously the last 2 years all over Northern California. Right, simultaneous fires being started. The atmosphere was burning, catching fire. Not that far-fetched. It's not that crazy. So, stay tuned. We'll do more. Stay at this.